Unfortunately, one of the biggest reasons why passion dies in a relationship, particularly a long-term relationship, is because people stop courting each other. What I mean by this is that they stop treating each other the way they did when they first started dating, when they first started flirting, before they knew they were even going to be a thing, maybe before they ever even hooked up. And we sometimes perform a certain way when we first meet someone, when we're attracted to them, when they catch our eye, because we want to get something from them. We want attention, love, approval, sex, belonging, commitment, all kinds of things. And these aren't wrong things to want, but they can be motivators that change or affect the way that we edit ourselves, the way that we present ourselves in sort of a filtered way or perhaps a directed way. And that can affect the long-term outcome if that isn't a representation of who you are most of the time, right? Because when a partner is assessing whether or not to get with you, whether it's the short term or the long term or anything in between, they're assessing how accurate who you present yourself to be lines up with who you really are on the inside, who you are behind closed doors, who you are when you're tired, angry, hungry, all these things. If they're in alignment and your partner sees all these things and how they fit together about you, then they can make a reasonably wise decision about whether or not to commit to you, even if it's just for a second date or for a year or for the rest of your lives. So when you first start dating someone and you're courting them, you are putting your best foot forward. Most people, right? And this isn't a bad thing. You do want to present yourself in the best light, the most attractive, the most desirable light possible. But if this isn't who you are most of the time, you're kind of leading on your potential partner to believe that this is what they're going to get most of the time if they commit to you. And maybe that is what they get for the first few weeks, the first few months, the first year or two. But eventually people start to get complacent or bored or stagnant. There's a certain energy stuckness between people and within people individually. And so what you got to do is mix that up. So how to keep courting someone you've already successfully courted. There's a lot more about this that I work with people one-on-one, but in a short summarized way right now, I would say begin to try to see them through the eyes of your former self, the self that was interested in them, magnetized toward them. What was it about them that drew you in? Try to see that in them again. Maybe even journal about this. Write a list of the things that drew you into your partner, the things that really attracted you, the things that you really appreciated at first. And you were like, wow, I gotta be with this person on some level. So write those down and begin to express appreciation and gratitude for them in your partner again. Even if you're like, oh, my partner knows that I think they're beautiful. Just tell them that more often and be specific too, because compliments don't seem very believable if they're broad and vague and just like, you look great, babe. That's always nice, right? But if you can be like, wow, your eyes are just popping today, or ooh, I love those shorts on you. I want to squeeze your butt, whatever it is. So bringing those things to the forefront of your mind and having a presence about that on a day-to-day basis, even if you're just hanging around the house in sweats, it doesn't matter. Be able to show up in a way that tells your partner, hey, I remember what I liked first about you, and I still like that thing about you. I remember the things I wanted in you, from you, about you when I first met you, and I still want those things. I still have an appreciation, and I'm here for it. I'm present about it. The other tip is to act around them as if you haven't won them yet, as if you haven't gotten a commitment from them. Always be wooing them, right? That flirtation, that energy, that lightness, that playfulness, the way that you interact lets them know hey, come dance with me. Hey, spar with me a little. Hey, let me surprise you, or let me create space for you to surprise me. And this is all in subtle dynamic stuff, which is too much for me to get into here, but try little things like winking at your partner, right? If you've been with your partner for years, when was the last time you winked at them? And not in a jokey joke, silly kind of way, but in an actually seductive way, in a playful, oh, I see you're busy now, but I'll be back later, right? Some kind of way to let them know that you want to play with them. It's an invitation, right? It's a bid for connection, saying, hey, I want to connect with you in this way, with this flavor, on this wavelength. You want to meet me there? Do something back and let me know. So you're basically showing up to them in a way that's you want to seduce, to woo, to dance with them, to invite them into a space where there's some uncertainty. Are they going to dance with you? Are you going to sleep together tonight? Are you going to go on a date? How's the date going to go? Like, even if you think you know, like you and your partner, you kind of hit these notes every time, like kind of a, you know, like a play-by-play, you're going to hit these specific points. You kind of know how it's going to go. Try to stir that up and reignite the dynamic that was originally present when you were first flirting. Because people often flirt because they're trying to get a connection going. They're trying to stoke a fire, right? And when you've been with someone for a long time, you assume that the fire is always stoked and like, hey, I put the wood in and we're good forever, right? You gotta keep putting more wood in the fire. So that's my tip for you today. I hope you enjoy, even if it's something tiny. Go do it, even if it feels a little out of the ordinary, if it makes you feel uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone with your partner, if it shakes the dynamic up, all the better. Because it'll be effective when your partner's like, whoa, my partner just did something different. They haven't acted like that way towards me in a long time. Ooh, and just like see what that does for you. Okay, good luck.